This video is specifically going to be talking about the class notebooks. If I click on my grade 6 team or any team that you are a part of, you can choose. But I'm going to use grade 6 for this example. Remember the menu that pops up? We have posts. This is where we can all chat as a class, share ideas. It's a very collaborative space. Files, which isn't really important, but it's basically where all the things that you post and upload will be stored. And class notebook. Now, class notebook is where we recommend that most of your work is done. It's an area that has 3 parts to it. The 3 parts, as you can see when you open the student notebook, are student notebooks, content library, and collaboration space. The student notebooks is a private space shared between the teacher and each individual student. Teachers can access every student notebooks while students can only see their own. So this is basically like having your child's workbook in class, a book that she writes notes in and hands into you. As it was said, you can see all the different learners' notebooks, but they cannot see each other's notebooks. The second place that you have in your class notebook is called the content library. This is a read-only space where teachers can share handouts with students. When we say read-only, we mean that the students may not edit or remove anything that you post there. So this is kind of your resource space. Think of it as a library. This is where all of your resources that the girls are going to be referring to will be stored. The only way that these can be taken down is by teachers, and students will only be able to download and view. They won't be able to edit or change anything. The third area is called the collaboration space. This is a space where everyone in your class can share, organize, and collaborate. I'm not sure how necessary this collaboration space will be for teachers, because we can do that under posts, which I showed you at the top here. But it's another area that you can explore once you feel comfortable. The important thing to note about class notebook is how we access our individual notebooks, the 3 that I've just explained to you, the student notebooks, content library, and the collaboration space. How we access these is through this very important square button here. And this button has an arrow, a purple arrow pointing to the right. If you click on it, all of your details come up. So when you're in this space, if you can't find your workbooks, just remember the arrow. It's often something that we forget. To get out of that view, you just click on the main screen again. So if we click on the arrow and we are in our class notebook space, here are the 3 areas. We have a collaboration space that we spoke about, where we can all collaborate and share ideas. We have the content library that we spoke about, which is the area where we can upload resources for our students, and it's a read-only space. They cannot edit or change anything or remove anything. They can't comment on it. It's purely a library or a resource that they go to. And finally, these are your student notebooks. Because this is Dez's class, I have her students loaded here, and these are their little books where all their work will go. Just remember, each student can't see each other's notebook. Within these notebooks, there are different tabs. You can edit these to be whatever you want, but for now, these are labeled as the default, so it's the one that's set without you having to choose. And it's class notebooks, homework, quizzes, and handouts. So you click on the one and you can add a page over here. So for class notes for Aria, I could write something specific for her. I could assign specific homework for her. I could work with quizzes for her. I could create a quiz. And I could also put specific handouts for her. Now, the homework section may not be useful for us, as well as the handout section, seeing as we're going to be using the content library for our handouts. So I'm going to walk you through. We're not going to worry about the collaboration space. But I'm going to walk you through this welcome tab, and this is the first tab that the girls will receive. And the suggestions that we have had is that we use this welcome tab to assign the weekly plan for girls. So I'm going to add a page. And how I do this, we have welcome to class notebook, we have FAQs, which are questions about it, how do I use it, with all sorts of useful links. But here I'm going to right click and say new page, and I'm going to title this page Term 2 Week 1. And within Term 2 Week 1 I can write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. This is a great way to assign work to your students for each day. So for Monday, for example, I could say maths. They need to do this page and that page from that textbook, or they need to refer to a worksheet that you've added. Let's pretend they have music that day, if they have computers that day. And those teachers will have access, your specialist teachers will have access to your class notebook, and they will be able to edit in their sections that they would like to add for the class for that day of the week. So we can continue adding Term 2 Week 2. We can continue in this fashion so that in the end the girls have a space where they can click on the instructions for every single week and they can work through it at their own pace. Then we have our content library. The content library is where we have all of our resources that we want the girls to access. This works in the same way. You right click, create a new page, and you can say this is a resource on videos for geography. And in this space you could add home insert, you could insert a photo or a video or anything you want, but for now I'm going to insert a video because that's what I've titled this. You simply go into Google and look for your video. I'm going to look for a video on the history of Egypt, for example. The YouTube video I find, I click on it, I right click and I copy the link. And when I get here, I basically click on this star that says tags. The menu will drop down. I can click on website to visit. And when I do so, I can paste by clicking Control and V at the same time. Control and V. And the video shortcut will be created here and girls can watch it straight from here. They don't have to be taken to a separate YouTube page or website page. It can just be shown here. And you as a teacher can continue adding more and more videos if you would like. There are other things you can do in here. As I said, if this weren't for videos, if this were for something else, you can insert and attach information from your computer if you've prepared a worksheet that you'd like them to look at. So if I call this maths worksheet, I can insert file, insert as an attachment just as you would for an email, and you can choose a file from your computer and upload it in that fashion where the girls can then view it. There's another place where you can draw. It's kind of like having a whiteboard and you can draw. And yeah, you're just going to have to play. There are a whole bunch of different options that you can use, and just keep in mind that you're making a resource for the girls to access. You've also got to be careful about how you label it. The next thing I want to show you, and the final thing, are your student notebooks. So we have each different child, and we can click on their notes. We can click on their quizzes, their handouts, and I will have to do another video where I show you what the student view looks like and how their workbooks look to them.